Hey guys, good Wednesday afternoon, and thanks for checking out your latest video here. Weather yield outlook, our update for the week of Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. It's just a little after 1 o'clock Eastern, and I've got a great lineup for you today on what we're discussing. Again, every Wednesday, weather yield outlook, discussing the latest forecast conditions, latest growing season forecast chats, if you will, going forward. We're going to talk about planting delays to potentially continue. A window, though, to plant next week for a lot of folks, I think. Overall, though, it's cooler the next 2 weeks. We'll look at the June pattern. La Nina is continuing to develop, and then, of course, we'll share our latest growing season forecast thoughts with you. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, all right, BAMWX, as we'll continue to keep you posted on the upcoming weather here over the course of the next several weeks. So this is a look here at our Clarity platform. And I want to use this to dive into the details of weather over the next 24 hours. This is a look here at radar right now. We do see some shower and thunderstorm activity going on across portions of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri. And then you have a line of thunderstorms from Tennessee, Kentucky, extending up in there into the north and east. In terms of the severe weather outlook today, it's not anything too crazy. There's a slight risk along this line of thunderstorms. The best chance for stronger storms is going to come across Dallas this afternoon. The day 2 outlook does show more thunderstorm chances. Some of those storms could be severe across the Central Plains. Slight risk for severe weather Central Plains right now. Day 3, that risk slides east. There's a bigger threat here, day 4 right now. As we get into that Monday time frame, there's a bigger threat, at least potentially, for a more significant risk of severe weather here as we get into Sunday. So we are going to certainly continue to monitor that area in the Ohio Valley for a bigger risk of possibly significant severe weather with this particular system here getting Sunday into Monday going forward. Now, another tool I love to show here with Clarity is the potential for 24-hour rainfall. And I want to show you just some of the future plots real quick. This is the rainfall forecast next 24 hours. Updates every hour. You can zoom in, click on the map. It'll show you rainfall forecast anywhere in the country, 24 hours out. You can also look at observed rainfall too if you want, and zoom down, field level, click on it, get your rainfall outlook, okay? Along with any location you're monitoring, that hourly forecast, huge for the folks in agriculture for the hour by hour, the spray, all that stuff. You can access Clarity as a grower for $750 a year, and the features there are endless. So let's take a look now at crop progress. This chart here, courtesy of Karen Braun on Twitter. You can follow her at KANNBWX. But this is a look at the plant progress right now. This is where we are, okay? And this dashed line that you see is the essentially the normal over the last 5 years. And you can see we're really kind of right at the 5-year normal. We're a little behind the 2014 to 2018 average. But we made some big progress. The question is going to be, can we continue to do this through the weekend? Can we gain 5 or 6 more percent in planting progress? 12% is getting up to where we need to catch up. That's going to be tough to do with the weather forecast. All right, this is a look here at rain over the last 14 days. And you can see just about everyone has really had a decent amount of rain. There's really been no shortage of rainfall whatsoever. Perhaps the Northern Plains, a hole here in Missouri, Western Illinois, a hole in Louisiana, and then of course we know we continue to miss the rains in Southwest Kansas. The majority of the belt here the last 14 days has seen plenty in the way of precipitation. When you look at the 30-day departure from normal, there's really not very many folks that have seen drier conditions overall the last 30 days. Even outside of 30 days here, it's still been wet. All right, we've had plenty of rain, and it's been very warm. We've seen a big area here where we have not been able to find rain. There's no question about that. But as we continue to go forward, looking at this the next 5 days, this is the rainfall forecast from the latest European model. Still not incredibly favorable for, I'm going to move my camera over here, still not incredibly favorable for planting here between now and the end of the week. This is through Sunday night. So plenty of additional rainfall, some strong to, again, possibly severe weather is going to muddy the waters here in the 1 to 5 day period. It's the 5 to 10 day where the pattern starts to calm down. This was the latest European from last night. Again, you can see where the 5 to 10 day, there's a big gap in moisture. So possibly being able to get out there if that's enough time after the weekend rains. No question that's going to take some time to dry out. I understand that. This is the latest GFS in the 5 to 10. Regardless, it's showing that the pattern will subside a little bit. It won't be as crazy. As we go into the next 10 days, a lot of this is inside the first 5 days. This is the 1 to 5 day period of rainfall chances over 1 inch. And so there's obviously no shortage of rain. These are pretty high probabilities for rain to exceed 1 inch of rain or more the next 10 days, really falling in the next 5 days is the idea here. But there's a strong signal there for that. Rainfall for 2 inches or more, the heaviest signal right now is coming across the Tennessee River Valley, the Arklatex regions here. The strongest signal for 2 inches or more rain the next 10 days will come here, with a decent signal up here across portions of Wisconsin. But at least that area is shrinking a little bit in terms of the most intense rainfall. Okay. As we look at this going forward, again, the pattern, it continues to indicate that it's not going to be one that is dead, if you will. That we have plenty of storm dates. I encourage you to screenshot this. I encourage you to watch these dates, as these will bring systems into the ag belt that will make it difficult to get fully planted. I think that continues to be an issue in the grand scheme of things outside of that drier window that we have in the 5 to 10 day period. There's still plenty of storm chances. And the pattern is not excessively warm to end the month and start June, and it's not dry. In fact, we think it can continue to present risks of moisture with it. The other thing we have to watch is the potential recurve of a typhoon developing in the western Pacific Ocean. That may start to take shape here in the 4 to 7 day time frame. Once this recurve takes place, that may offer up a big shot of cooler air in a storm system to start the month of June. So we have to watch this as well. That's certainly something to keep an eye on that the models may struggle to see in the short term of that. Okay. So this is what we talked about, the wetter risks here with that recurve as well. The overnight model runs did that. The changes from the previous run versus 12 hours ago all indicated a wetter map. So this is the look at the week 2 rainfall from normal forecast right now. This is a normal to above normal signal for the first week of June, with a much above normal signal here in the first week of June. And I believe that's going to be due to an active flow pattern across the top of this, with a ridge center down to the south and some extreme heat building in, which is surfacing or indicating the summertime pattern. Okay, we've already seen it. We've already seen the last 2 months overall run some of the warmest it's been in 132 years in the Ohio Valley. We've had temperatures in the upper 80s the last couple of days. The heat's going to come in waves this summer rather intensely. All right, there's no question about that. All right, so looking at precipitation, there's been a dramatic turn of events here just since March 1st of moisture in Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, in northern Indiana, portions of Minnesota. It's been a very wet stretch, so that has certainly helped replenish the soil moisture there. It has also been historically dry in southwest Kansas. In fact, one of the probably top 15 driest periods in spring to date. So it's been very dry. Check out how wet it's been East Texas and northern Louisiana down there as well. So, listen, going forward, the pattern beyond week 2. You know, overall, like we said, here's the week 2 chart. It's cooler and it's wetter. The pattern beyond this, what is it suggesting? Well, the pattern in the North Pacific Ocean tells us we're going to continue to probably see this southern U.S. ridge try to set up with intense heat into the south and an active flow pattern over the top. We see that suggestion here in the North Pacific. Similar look. Take this and connect it here in 3 to 4 weeks. It's always a good basis to give us an idea of what to suggest or what to look for in this pattern. Well, the first 2 weeks of June essentially is what you have here, above normal heating demand in terms of population-weighted degree days. A lot different from last year, by the way. Big heat in the deep south and above normal temperatures will return. And early June above normal is warm. Okay, so that's the outlook for the 3 to 4 week period. And we continue to target above normal precipitation signal across the central and eastern portions of the belt, especially further the east that you go here, central and south central portions, if you will, not east, I apologize. Drier to the north. This is that active flow pattern along the periphery of the ridge that may offer severe weather and thunderstorm clusters, of which we've already seen. We've already seen this pattern trying to emerge. Okay, so to look further out, to give us an idea of what is the beyond week 3 and 4 suggesting right now, we look at the weekly ENSO data. We look at years that show similar evolution in those Pacific Ocean temperatures, and it gives us a good idea of what to look for. The latest multi-model plot for the summer season forecast does indicate, in fact, the weak La Nina to be there, but especially by the end of the summer, I think we're in a La Nina, okay? And we see that here in the model data. And something to watch is how quickly this can happen. Well, look at the weekly ENSO updates. We've got plenty of cold water at the surface and the subsurface. Seen a couple of things here that really stick out to me. Number one is just how cool the ENSO regions have gotten, but how warm the PDO and the PMM have gotten. These continue to indicate conflicting signals for the growing season forecast. That's the frustrating part about it. But this is impressive. We're looking at some of the strongest PDO values on record. That can help us analog some things. What do those strong PDO years look like? Going back to 1990, this is the June and July composite for temperatures. It's very warm overall. That's very warm for July. Look at where the core of the heat is. You see this potential ridge setup. Over the top is where you would see the active flow pattern that you're seeing here. You're kind of seeing hints of this in the hit and miss fashion for precipitation and probably some big thunderstorm clusters and some big rain events from this, but also elevated temperatures. Heat waves and high nighttime temps would be the theme in some of these years. Most recent years, 2022, 2013, 2012 are some of those most recent years. What does that tell us for June? Well, right now this is the June forecast. Where you see the above normal rain is cool. It's great. You always want rain in June for sure. But among that flow pattern is where you may be looking at thunderstorm clusters. Some of them strong, some of them severe. Some of them may be offering excessive rain into areas that are already wet. So that's something to consider going forward. The temperature outlook, more of what I just talked about. That probably that southern U.S. ridge that has potential to flex, all right, and expand at times, especially mid to late June, and offer up some big heat waves, but continue to keep things active across the top of the ridge. Okay, so with that in mind, when we look at our ENSO evolution, our summer analogs, and we toss in PDO as a strong signal in the North Pacific with the Pacific Decadal Oscillation, almost all of these are at or below trend line yields. In fact, the most 3 recent years would be 2022, 2013, and 2012. All right, those were obviously plagued with droughts and heat. But even prior to that, you're getting trend line yield data. A lot of evidence right now suggesting that this crop is going to suffer from a couple of things. I want to make sure I make this very clear. Late planting, excessive moisture, possibly in the form of severe weather, warm overnight low temperatures, and a hot summer. There's a lot of mitigating factors right now supporting a trend line crop at 182 bushels for corn. It just doesn't, it's not in the research right now is not supporting that from an analog, from a research standpoint. Okay, I want to make sure we make that very clear from a weather standpoint. Okay, a lot of indication of a potentially below trend crop based on our forecast right now. Here's our summer outlook right now. Again, I think the hottest of summer can start here in June, and then it can expand into July. And then by August, I think it's really hot, possibly here into August. And precipitation, I think, could be shutting off in the Corn Belt in August in places. I'm worried about that, and I'm worried about a very active hurricane season. Anytime you see a big ridge that comes over the Great Lakes, it gets hot in August, it brings tropical storms into the Gulf, big ones. I think it's one of the hottest summers we've ever seen in terms of an energy demand perspective. All right. 2017, I think, would make it the second warmest summer ever in terms of population-weighted cooling degree days. And then precip. Here's the thing. Yes, it is active June and July here. I do believe it is active. And there are rain chances. And I don't believe we're looking at a drought. I believe we're looking at times of dryness and heat. But again, active thunderstorm clusters. Then into August, that's where my concerns mount, is drier in here and not much of that flow pattern. That's the idea right now. You can see we are forecasting a 180 corn yield right now and a 51.5 soybean, both below the trends right now. Both below trends based on how we're starting. We're planting late. That's an element to this, and how we think we're going to go and finish storm clusters, warm nighttime lows, heat waves, that type of thing. So, latest thought process right now. We will continue to do these weekly, Weather Yield Weekly on Wednesdays. Subscribe to the YouTube channel or visit bamwx.com and learn how to sign up for Clarity and how to get our updates every day and utilize our information daily. It's pretty cool. So, thank you for watching. Share it with a friend. Have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday.